Um, Hi guys, today we have with us architect Kokila Deshpande and she'll be talking to us about the future of environment. We're just waiting for her to join in. In the meanwhile, I'll just tell you a bit more about Kokila. She runs a company which empowers urban and rural women, also promotes organic lifestyle by making durable paper bags. So let's just wait for her to join in and then we can continue the session. Hi Vinoshi, if you have any questions, you all can just type it in the comment section below and we'll take it up. Okay. Okay, Kokila is finally here. We'll just add it. Hi Kokila, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
You came in, we already have people asking you for your tote bags. So that's Seed Foundation out there. Kokila, I just introduced you briefly to the people who've joined us. If you can tell us a bit more about your initiative, your company, which is not an NGO, which you clearly told me about. So if you can just give us a little more details about that.
Sure. So this is we formed it, or it was never like a start date per se, because this had been going on in my mind for like years now. For example, it's more than 5 years actually. So the whole quest was it started with a question, or it started with a problem of it, the whole plastic menace, as you know, and what could we do about it. So earlier, I mean, it just kept feeling that somebody else should do it, or it's a larger problem that an individual cannot handle and stuff like that. So but it wasn't so. As a designer, I felt that what is it that I could do? So at least I could fidget. I could do something. I should try out something. So I had initially designed a chair out of newspaper, and when you rolled the tubes and then created an entire chair, the exploration was basically, does it take weight? Does newspaper take weight?
Okay.
And that got me excited. There was another lady who had an NGO and working in the villages, and she said, Kokila, since you know newspaper, I mean, you're getting the material. Why don't you make bags? Because even in small villages, this plastic problem has become really huge.
Right.
So yeah, so then that's how the whole thing started, and already I had been having this problem of missing the paper. So when you saw newspaper bags, I mean, it had been there before as well. A lot of companies like Familia used it. And the thing is, it was only a boutique kind of a what you call bag, a product, which wouldn't take weight. So
Right.
my exercise as a designer was, what could we do to the available material that it could start taking weight, so it could be used in the competitive market. I mean, plastic has its benefit. It is really, really beautiful as a product, but it's harmful for the environment, right? So if you need to uh, be competitive as a product with plastic, then you'll at least need to work double that much, to be somewhere at par with it. So I started studying what exactly. So the issues of weight could be little bit increase the weight bearing capacity. newspaper is very, very fragile. So you really need to work around other things,
Right.
right? So the study was, can we introduce elements in it which will take the weight more than the paper itself. So if I can show you my first prototype, it looks like really yucky.
Wow.
The
Okay.
thing is, the strings went right to the bottom, if you see.
Okay.
And so when you put things in it, and the size, of course, yeah. So if you put things in it, the bottom and the string would hold the content and not really the paper.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you can putting like, I think this will take like 6, 7 because it's a prototype and it was over designed. So it
Okay.
can almost take like 6, 7 kgs of weight. But yeah, but then my husband was like, I'll not be seen dead with this bag. It's so ugly. Then you had to work around aesthetics and you had to kind
Yeah.
of start, evolving the design. So then this happened. Then there was this bag which, we kind of give Kala Ghoda Cafe also and some boutique papers. So it was for a cake, for cake boxes.
Correct.
And this also holds some 4 kgs, but they need it only for half kg, 1 kg.
Okay.
So this started, these straps are, if you see, there is some branding on it. These are those kinaras that they call. It is garment factory waste.
Okay.
So this thing is basically pants trouser material, and it's discarded again.
Okay.
So it was a lot of something which I had to really go out of my space, go to godowns, go to garment factories, which generally you don't do.
Right.
You're in a very safe space that way as an architect. So you had to go to areas and figure out, because all of this was totally new to me.
So
Figuring
bags,
out where my will come
right.
out from.
Newspapers, is it directly coming from the Raddiwalas, as we call it, or do you actually have to go somewhere else to procure your raw materials, which is newspaper?
So the first these experiments and maybe the first 500 also came directly from the Raddiwala. But the Raddiwala is basically a mediator, right? You are giving Raddi and then he is making a profit and giving it back to you.
Right.
So then I kept hunting out also for people to donate. And those donations, either people are already doing stuff, like I started calling up hotels and wherever, hospitals, corporate offices. But everybody had that thing of हमने already किसी को दे दिया है, या already there is an arrangement.
Right.
And this is a huge expense. Raw material, Raddi is actually a huge expense. If we start totaling it in the price of the bag, it is, it doesn't make much sense. Slowly, but once we started really going ahead doing it, the thing for me was just start it. Things will start falling in place. You can work out the economics as you go. Then somebody read about it. He was actually a publisher, print, newsprint person. He was the director, and he directly gave me a call. He was sitting at Kala Ghoda. He said, "I saw your bag and it is amazing. So, do you need? We waste huge newsprint every single day, and if you need, I would love to donate this to you." And I was like, "Yeah." So things, we start coming out.
Right. So when it comes to
So,
your color, sorry, you saying?
no, I'm saying then slowly, you start getting donations, and then prices can be managed. But initially, you just have to just go ahead with figuring out how to get it out in the market. Yeah.
Right. So I was just asking, as a career of, so you're an architect, right? How tough was it to manage your career as an architect and do something like this? Like, how difficult was it to manage both the things simultaneously?
Right. So this we had just moved from Bangalore, and I was into a proper regular day job, and there I felt this whole like, for example, this prototype had already happened, and I was like, I can't just sit on it. This is, wherever we go, this problem is going to come. But I knew nothing of Bombay, and we were staying so close to workplace that there was nothing, no other chance of figuring things out. All I did was compiled stuff and sat one Saturday. I had no backing, nothing. How am the production going to be, whatever. I was just excited that this bag holds weight, and I wanted to shout out and tell the world. So one random Saturday, I sit and research, and who could. This was almost some 5, 6 years ago. So you're not even really good with research also about this.
Yeah.
So people into the organic area, I knew that trying to convince people randomly that you shouldn't use plastic was a difficult thing to do. I
Right.
started looking at where people already know, people already might want and might be looking for an alternative. So I sat down and wrote about 50 mails, and two almost immediately replied. One is, and totally thankful to both of them, is Farad Bomanji from Kalagoda Cafe, and the other is Kavita Mukhi from Farmers Market. So both of them said, this is fantastic as a design, and can you make samples for us, etc. So that's how it started. Uh, I sent samples. They said, wonderful. Now what? When can you give us 200 bags? Me, I think that was a day I would celebrate, that somebody out of my family and friends had found this interesting and
Right.
valid. I think that moment is most important, because till now everything is in house and you're excited. But
Right.
once
The
an outsider,
validation, basically, yeah.
yeah, and who's ready to pay for this design, and
Yeah.
that uh, different feeling. So then I had to hunt who's going to make it for me, and at that time I wasn't aware that there are these women groups who are sitting and can get per piece payment, etc. I had absolutely no clue of this whole side of uh, the world.
Right.
So there was one lady who asked me in my housekeeping in the office building, and she said, "Madam, do you have employment? I need, my niece is sitting at home." And it just came together. So I said, "Yeah, why not? I'll just train her for this." So 2 months we took. I had to teach her, and uh, to make that 200 bags, we took 2 months. But they
So
were
did
so
you just work
encouraging.
on doing the entire 200 bags, or did you get more women on board for your first order?
So that time it was just her. It was
Okay.
just her, that one lady, that housekeeping lady's niece, and just her and me. Yeah.
Okay.
So we gave that at the end of the day. He said, "Great. Now when will you be able to scale it up?" And then I had to start looking. Then again by chance, I had participated in this maker Mela, maker movement at Somaya, uh, Vidya Vihar, and the director of Buddhist studies, Dr. Supriya Rai, I met her, and I mean that is all very coincidental. So then she said, "No, there is a group of women in Sakarwadi, their biorefinery factory is, and why not? We could do this as a livelihood exercise, and you could teach them." So coming to your question, uh, we took the train. Friday evening, my work ended. Saturday early morning, 6 o'clock, we used to leave to that village. And we reach in the afternoon, train the women, be there, and leave next day afternoon, reach Sunday night, and Monday morning was office again.
Office. Yeah.
So this happened, yeah, for maybe a year or more. Constant. We were at it. So yeah, then the production team is still there. They're working.
Okay.
So this was how I was managing this.
So we know this has created a lot of difference in the society when people are trying to replace the plastic bags with newspaper bags. What do you think this has impacted the ladies who you've hired to do these work? Like as you said, you were taking a train, going to train them. How do you think that has changed the lives of the people who have involved in this entire process?
I would say monetarily, this is not going to be like suddenly they're going to start buying houses or something. But I felt the most beautiful thing that happened is their attitude has started changing towards themselves, and them having a feeling that they're going to earn, that they're earning. So now, even if they start talking back in the sense that talking about money and debating, and for the longest time they thought I'm a middleman or something. No, it wasn't that. I'm not won anything out of this. And be like, "Didi, ek bahut kam hai na." Like we're like, listen, we have to be better at our own work, and it's not going to sell more higher. I said, I'm not here basically to sell your stuff. I want you all to be independent. That tomorrow you'll not need. And I wanted to create more and more groups who would start functioning on their own, like
Right.
learn the skill and take it on yourself. The women started getting more confident about their product, about themselves, that they are able to bring in money. At their homes, the scene started changing. That earlier, the mom-in-law, their husbands were like, what are you doing? You know, just look at our children and you're neglecting them. And these women had never earned before. They never earned a living before. And with this little thing, I feel, and they started looking at other options as well slowly. So if I'm able to 1,000 a month, there are options where I can look at more. So I feel that is a big win.
Right.
Even for women to have a certain changed attitude, it's also for me that matters. As a woman, that matters.
Okay. The other question is, what is the biggest challenge you faced in your entire journey? So, as you said, the first call you got from Kala Ghoda was like they gave you $200 at the first call. So, what was the biggest challenge? Was it getting more people on board? Was it contacting the NGOs? Was it convincing people that paper bags is the next big thing? So, what was it according to you?
So the good part of this is I chose my challenges. What mattered to me, and I think because I was not, or I'm still not in the business frame of this, maybe it could have scaled up to another level. I was still stuck, and I'm still in the space where I want to keep improvising this as design.
Right.
When I say design, it's about performance. It is about how effectively or efficiently you can do it, how economically you are able to do it. So, so the biggest challenge is, so I did not even start. There was a time when I used to convince people or talk to people that you shouldn't use plastic and stuff. But slowly, when I started choosing my challenges, it was not about them at all. I was speaking only to those people who understood this language. For example, some people like, can you change the straps? You know, these are so ugly, and can you make our own brand? I was like, there are 100,000 people who can do that for you, and I'd rather not do it because I believe in this philosophy right now.
Right.
And there are, for example, it mattered because people like upmarket people, like if Kala Ghoda Cafe can accept it, so tomorrow people might say, "Nah, this is a cool thing to do. It could be
Right.
using. It could be like Bombay dyeing, or it could mean like Raymond's or something, and it's okay." Right? So I needed these kind of people who would say that or start making these things fashionable. There was and is still a big challenge that after these things I felt there's no glue. If you see, there is layers. It's a kind of wrap, and then I'm using this as needle thread kind of a thing that sews itself. So the process here, how we hold the paper, how we make it, is very, very efficient. The next bag is something like this, which looks cleaner.
Right.
And then we use the sewing machine.
Okay.
So all this is sewn, and we are more efficient with the paper, the raw material, the look. Now the thing is making of the machine. So we realize that the women are spending way too much time in doing this, even this bag and the one that we're doing now. So the biggest challenge is now making that machine. So that is where I feel that the rest, everything that had been a lot of physically straining exercises, simple things like hamal kaise milta hai yaar, I was riding and delivering orders, and ये लोग कहाँ से मिलते हैं, मुझे महीने में सिर्फ 2 trips करने हैं और वो लड़के कहाँ मिलते हैं. So all that thing was there, but that never posed as a challenge to me because deliver karna hai na, let them maybe bahar रहती हूँ, maybe they should not see me or something. But then I think you have to put shame and other things aside. Totally. I mean, if they call the owner saying कि हाँ ये delivery करके गई है लड़की, and I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah. So we have one
I
question
think
right now.
sorry,
you were saying?
I'm saying it's about what you choose the challenge to be big or small. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. So we have one question right now. How can larger businesses and companies contribute to your cause?
By buying the papers bags.
Where can they go to actually buy the papers? Like, do you have a website? Do you list it somewhere?
On Instagram, yes, but since there was this thing of, I mean, they can directly reach me out on this particular handle of mine, Kokila Deshpande. It used to be called Avyakta for a longest time, but there were challenges emotionally as well. It went up and down in different ways. So yeah.
Yeah, so I had to
So they can
actually ask this, why Avyakta? Like, what does that mean?
uh, so Avyakta, basically it means it's another phrase for Shiva. In the sense, around that time we were reading. My husband was doing a course on Indian aesthetics, and he was reading about all of the concepts of Shiva and the concept of Krishna and what does it mean. And we were looking for a name around that time, and I felt it's not about a product. It should be very open that we're talking about solutions. We're talking about uh, how we use what is there in the world already. It's not a fancy of a designer that it's my product and I want it out in the world. It is something that is already available. You pick it up, you uh, envision it to be very valuable. It should be a need of the hour, and then you deliver it. It should not. Uh, so the I It's a little difficult to put it in words. So Avyakta actually is the unmanifest,
Right. Got it.
right? Yeah, you can kind of.
I got the
So
essence.
it's not.
Right.
Yeah, it's basically shunya. It's not manifested. It's not there. So when we want to say it's come with nothing and it has to go with nothing. So that nothing or unmanifest was something that I felt so close to with the work that I'm doing with me as a being, and the products that would come out of me. So uh, I think this term is understood, it we didn't want an umbrella of products that today we introduce this product, today we introduce that product. It was, for example, I was fighting to understand if there is an alternative to bubble wrap, because bubble wraps have become so rampant, and we just, even a small polythene bag we can reuse, but bubble wrap is something that we just unpack our delivery and we just have to check it out, right? Some of us play with it, but I think nowadays the quality is not good enough also.
Yeah. Most
So
of them are
then
already,
I started, sorry.
I'm saying most of them are already busted. There's not much fun doing
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. So then I was working around these guys, right? So this whole Chindi contractor became my very good friend, and he started showing me options of other Chindi. They categorize Chindi. So all of this started opening up to me when I got when I deep dived into it. There's one which is this style, the other which is larger pieces, like about 1 meter, 2 meter, and they are sold to these pillow cover makers and stuff. So
Okay.
you get them at 1 rupee per piece or 2 rupee per piece, or and the other is really small bits. Those small bits get the white ones get segregated. They go to these. If you see those tags on
Right,
dry
right.
cleaner guys,
Yeah.
where they write their name and
Name and
whatever.
yeah.
So that gets sold to them. Just one garment factory has these 4 or 5 categories where things go to different industries.
Right.
They are also industries, they are also making money, so which is the best thing. Then there's other chindi which is like everything else. So that chindi we stuffed into cloth pouches. We made pouches out of them, and that was like, it's like a cushioned thing. So I was very naive also. I think somebody from Good Earth also reached out, and I was so thrilled. And I sent our box of samples, and she's like, Kokila, these are wonderful, but can't use it for shipping because they're heavier, much
Okay.
heavier than your bubble. So the thing is, we have started choosing a very comfortable lifestyle. We were not like this 15 years ago. We knew that there's no option. There was
Right.
no plastic, there was no bubble wrap. So we had to do things that we had to do. No choice. Now, because we have been spoiled by the lightness, the weightlessness of plastic, it's very difficult for us to go back.
Right.
So this whole avyakta thing is an umbrella of whatever hurts you, whatever pricks you, and you put. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we've covered most of the questions which we had about this. I think now we can move on to our next section, which I briefed you about, which is a little rapid fire. You have to just answer questions very quickly. So let's start with that.
Yep.
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
The first one is an architect or an environmentalist. Where do you see yourself?
I see myself as a human being, and I don't think that it can be two separate.
Okay, that's very diplomatic. Okay, next, going forward, more, yeah, oceans or mountains?
Mountains.
Okay. If you had one superpower to change something in the world, what would it be?
People's attitude.
Okay, towards plastic, I'm assuming. Who's that one person you look up to?
There are too many actually, too many. Uh, why I'll say because you grow with time. It's not that there is one role model, and there is a problem with having role models because they are also people. You hold them too high, and one day you hear something else about them, which doesn't fit in your frame of thought.
You're right.
So for me, in this very, I would say, physically training, mentally and emotionally training journey, uh, it could be anybody. I read maybe something about Jackie Chan, and suddenly I'm like, wow, somebody really took that hard effort, and it's about keeping on going or motivation. Or I'm chatting up with this taxi driver, and he tells me a story. So it's not about one role model. I feel it's
Okay, fair enough. Are you using a wooden toothbrush?
no.
Are you planning to switch
Love
anytime soon?
I
Okay.
think I will go to the Dhatu, not a bamboo.
Okay. If you had to be anywhere in the world, if you could be anywhere in the world at this moment, where would you choose to be?
It's a rapid fire, but I think some village in Tamil Nadu which I've seen.
Okay. What is one strangest thing you've come across environment, like which has completely shocked you?
I didn't get environment as
So
in
when you're working
degradation.
with the like newspaper or since you're an architect, when you're working with environment, has environment surprised you in some way? Like I was surprised by the fact that your newspapers are not glued together. They're just stitched or you're just making them up without. So has environment in any way shocked you or surprised you?
I feel there are so many more solutions that the environment is giving or shouting at us. Only now that I have started opening my eyes or using that lens, I'm able to see that more and more. And that I feel is amazing or shocking in that sense that it has been looking at me and in the face and shouting at me, and only now I'm able to see it. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. If you had to give up three things in life, what would those three things be?
Uh, a lot actually. I technology maybe, but I know we need. Yeah.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are close to making an impact in the world? Like 10
So
being the highest. Okay. Here's the last question. Who is your favorite architect?
Jeffrey Bawa.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Kokila, for coming on live with us. All the people who are watching this, you all can go and order the bags. You can reach out to her directly or you can ping us and we'll get you in touch with her. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.